And it's so interesting that years flew by and we have a good relationship till today. Funke, thank you so much for this honor. I'm very happy to be here to share almost 2 decades, beautiful women in the room, so many young, beautiful creatives today. And I would like to just say that Nigeria has evolved over the years. We just thank God for today. Everyone that's spoken before me, everyone speaking after me, I'm looking forward to it. It's been an incredible morning slash afternoon. So I'm here today to talk about building a sustainable fashion business. Wow. So for myself, as you all know, when I started, this was the very early beginning. We're talking 20 years ago, actually. Because it's actually my 20th year this year. And I remember after studying business administration in University in the UK, my master's was in finance, and at that time, we all know what our parents loved us to go into: engineering, doctor, lawyer, everything. And when I talked to my dad, I wanted to start pursuing fashion. He thought I was joking. But I thank God today, he's late today, but I thank God before he passed, he had a lot of respect for the journey of myself being a fashion business entrepreneurial business. So for so many young women in this room today, and men, we thank God for growth. When you talk about sustainable fashion business today, there's a lot of eco-friendly that comes into in terms of longevity and all. But one thing I would like to tell you is that before you even begin to talk about all of that, the first thing is to identify your market audience. You see, when you want to go into the fashion industry, there's so much creativity out there. We have beautiful women. Osas, Ini, I just saw you, you just came in, I'm sure. Yodabachi, we're watching very soon. If anybody in this room I know very well, Ife, Ada, Mojibade, Waje, we all have very different ways by which we dress. So you have to identify your target market. When I started, one thing I would like to say is, there was such a big gap. Nobody was even wearing Nigerian fashion at the time I started fashion. I remember Ankara, like what Funke is wearing today, Kente was meant to just be wrapped over your body and be chilling in the village. So when people will say to me, Lanre, who is ever going to wear Ankara? I'll be like, let's just see how things go. Let's try and practicalize it. Let's try how it's going to work. So it's identifying your target audience. That's the very first thing you have to do. Are you getting into men's fashion? Are you getting into women's fashion? How many aspiring fashion designers do we have in the room, please? Because there's always a lot. Are there any fashion designers in this room? I can see, oh, it's always so nice to see. So you have to know if it's men's wear, women's wear, styling, accessories, all of that. So one of the first things you want to do is identify your business. Although my main talk today is sustainable fashion. So before you go into sustainable fashion, you know about your target audience, your financial sustainability. I talk about financial sustainability. A good example I'll give is during COVID, I was approached by the federal government to help give out funds to those having issues under the fashion industry. And you won't believe it that some of the designers were actually not registered. I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. And some of them were really, really good designers because there was some money being given out. Because at the end of the day, it's all about information. And we all tend to complain about the Nigerian government. In this particular, I would actually give the name of the federal committee that was doing it. It was the Nigeria Export Promotional Council. Millions were given. So I would like to know that you all have business plans. Please, everyone that has a fashion business, be it in tech, please, have you registered your business? Do you have a business plan? Is that a no or a yes? Do you have business plans? Are there ways by which you, because that's extremely important, before you begin to start how you want to develop and do your business properly. Another key point is market positioning. When you talk about market positioning, you're talking about how you want to see your brand grow, your logo, identity, brand identity. How do you want to stay consistent? How do people remember you when you are not the one in the room, when you want to go abroad? When we started, there was no AI. The tech people, there was no tech. What you was saying earlier on, when they were doing the creative, and she was like, oh, this is a new era, because there was so many cameras following her for content. If the other day at dinner, content, which is really good. But that's today. When I started, there was nothing like that. Brand Nigeria is still existing today, but when we started, Brand Nigeria was already existing at the time. And I remember it was the magazines. Who knows the era of Genevieve magazine here? Encomio, City People, Ovation. Those were the times when I started. So we didn't have anything like AI, ChatGPT. In fact, there was no internet. Nigeria only started having phones 20 years ago during the Obasanjo era. So you can only imagine, it was all about word of mouth. But we thank God today that we've been able to blend it somehow and there's still relevance. So that brings me to longevity. For you to stay in business, building relationships is very important. I'm happy you agree with me, even with food. The other day, I was reading some things on Instagram and about Hilda's food and everything, and I love the way they came back and counteracted almost immediately. Because in Nigeria, it's all about how you project whatever you are doing and how you relate to people in all we do. Food, fashion, music, film, it's all about relationships. I think one of the main things is about building very strong relationships in what we do. In my own case, is clientele. And you know the way women are, we're very complex. So I would like all of us to stay very humble. Humility is extremely important in building any kind of business in this part of the world. In fact, globally, everywhere. Funke is very relatable. She's here because she transcends every kind of gender. Be it men, women, she'll speak Yoruba, she'll speak English, she'll speak Pidgin. Even in her movies, I love to watch when she's about to produce a film and what she does before. I mean, when this last movie was going to come out, who was thinking, when is this movie coming out? Do you all agree with me? At one point, I was like, oh goodness, when is the premiere? Because it was like they're premiering it for like 3 months before the movie actually came out. But that has to tell you that should identify, it's not about brand identity. Your brand has to stay extremely relevant. For me, I thank God I'm here standing, but we had to go the very difficult way. But thank God we have Tech by Ife this afternoon where she spoke about the importance of the AIs and all. Honestly, I didn't want to join AI before. In fact, I was one of those that didn't think I wanted to join Instagram when it started. I thought, I'm private. When you do luxury business, you're feeling good with yourself. I remember Gucci called me and said, Lanre, what do you think? You better join Instagram. And this was about, I think, 13 years ago or thereabout. But today, it's a different ballgame entirely. I had the Fed telling us that everybody has to key into AI today. You can even sell, Genevieve, how are you? You can even sell your business on WhatsApp today. Can you imagine that? That for me is just crazy. But that is the world we are living in today. So take advantage of every form of business opportunity to sell your products, to make sure that you stay relevant. Who wears sustainable fashion in this room? Do you know what sustainable fashion is? What is sustainable fashion? Well, sustainable fashion is definitely all about quality and not quantity. So did you know that? It's not about quality. I tell people, people get confused when they talk about sustainable. Sustainable doesn't mean it has to be something that was worn 40 years ago, 30 years ago. No, not only that. It's all about the quality of a product. And I take quality over quantity. That is not to say fast fashion is still not moving. You just have to know how to make it work for you. When you talk about quality products, talk about good cotton, good silks, recycled, scaling in your industry. And over the years, I would say that some things that people have worn by me, even about 12, 13 years ago, they are still wearing today. So I would like to say to the room that as much as fast fashion is out there, it's also good to think of quality products and sustainable fashion. Sometimes even our Ashoke, as we all see the Adire fashion being really, really worn today in Nigeria, which is so good to see. And those are things that have kept the fashion industry moving. I remember when I spoke about challenges in the industry. When I started the fashion industry, people didn't want to wear anything fashion. But today, if you're not wearing Nigerian, are you even dressed up? Everyone wears what? Nigerian. So choosing your niche market is very, very, very important. The Nigerian woman is very bold, very confident, very, very elegant. Some of us like really, really high fashion. Some of us are very comfortable in very soft fashion. But however it is, please identify your niche market to stay sustainable in this industry. Sustainable is eco-friendly products, renewable, organic cotton, recycled polyester, and all of that. So I would like to obviously talk about cash flow, cash flow management. Cash flow is extremely, extremely important. Information is key. There are so many ways to get good cash flow in the industry today. When you have good registered businesses, for those of us in this room, you can meet with me later, or I can share the information through the Creative Blueprint platform. There are ways you can get grants, there are ways you can get sponsorship, because at the end of the day, someone came to me and said to me, one of the main things is actually having the money to be in business. The LDA, you talk about all of this, some of us designers are privileged, and some of them, but today I will say that, as much as I will say yes to that, another thing is that today you can sell off from your Instagram page. There are so many ways. You can, if you build a good business, you can get good sponsorship. You can, over the years, depending on when you started and what you want to do, as long as you go by, you can also find ways to make money. Collaborations are very, very key today. There's no point in trying to want to own everything by yourself. It's good for you to team with people. The show I had last year, I showcased 3 designers that were some upcoming, some not so upcoming. But it was very good to share my stage with 3 other designers, which was the first time I know I was doing something like that. I thought that was the best part of my fashion show. I have some magazines going around from the show I had last year, and just to let you know that it's very good when you collaborate with people. For instance, what Funke is doing today is all about collaboration. Look at all of us in here. It shows a relationship with people. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Relationship is key. She's got someone in tech. She's got someone fantastic, someone in tech, music, fashion, film, food. There are even 2 food people, styling, film, content creation. That is building. She wouldn't be here. Imagine with all the accolades she has, and she doesn't have all these relationships, because I've known her for so long, and over the years, it's not like, you know, anytime she calls me, she knows I'm really, really willing to be there for her. So I think that is what makes this room what it is this afternoon, this day, making the creative blueprint to work. So please, we have to ensure we have very standard, excellent relationships with people. It's really, really, really key to building anything sustainable. You know, outside of talking about the real sustainability itself. I think some of us burn bridges very quickly. I know some people that over the years, even all the media rooms I'm seeing today, it still has to do with relationship that she's built over the years. So I would like to speak to all the new, because our new Gen Zs, some of them don't really like to work. Do you agree with me? You don't agree, so you are all very hardworking. Do you really think so? Okay, I'm happy to hear that. But generally, I know I employed some that when they came, what they were concerned about with the events. In fact, they came and told me, LDA, so when are these other events where we meet the Ajayi and all of them? You know, so I just want you all to understand that it's very good to be hardworking, please. Funke is here. Do you know what time she called me yesterday? She called me at, was it about almost midnight, to ask me for pins. She's very, very, very dedicated. She reminds me of Moabudu. I was just thinking, Funke, what are you doing? The guy came in less than 5 minutes to get the pins. It just shows that she had people working, and she was trying to make sure that today is perfect. So she's consistent, she's hardworking, and that is why Creative Blueprint is what it is. So please, when I talk about hard work, what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to put in everything. Don't think that we're all looking glam. It's easy. No, it's not easy. Trust me, we make it look easy, we want to look good, do our makeup and all, but you need to be, please, consistent. As you are here today, everything that we are talking about, put it into your own context, you know, making money from the creations. I heard what the tech people were talking about. It's extremely important. Myself standing here, I've also learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to also building on some of the things I've been taught today. And yes, so I've spoken about relationships, I've spoken about how we should manage our time and be consistent hard work, knowing that challenges will come. If you fail, you have to make sure you rise from it. And yes, so I look forward to talking more to you. I won't want to take too much. It's coming to 15 minutes, I believe. So very, very nice room, energized room. Thank you so much for having me.